This morning's guest is big and bold, but he'll sing his way into your heart. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Financial Insights off of Grissom Parkway in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the Grand Strand Opera Club. And we're visiting with John Bonsignor. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing there, man?
How
you doing?
about
Great.
it, John?
It's so early in the morning. You look so handsome.
At 7 a.m.
You got me up.
I've been up for a little while. That's right.
I just can't get up yet. I
love your red, white, and blue, John.
Well, I wore it for you. And I know I'm coming on a show with you. And I said, gee whiz, that guy is so debonair, so handsome.
Oh,
me, a fat pig like this.
Oh, come on now.
I have to look good, you know. So I put on red and blue and all that other stuff. So maybe, just maybe,
something to rub
look
off.
presentable.
Yeah, I love it. No, very nice on a Friday morning. We've had such a tremendous week. And what about this Financial Insights?
I tell you, it's really fascinating.
It is.
What's most fascinating being here with you. I'm so delighted.
At 7.
You're one of my local heroes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I've read about you. I know you're a graduate. You're a brilliant guy.
I'm not brilliant, but that's
to me. Look, it's me that's saying.
I'm the interviewer. That's
it's
right.
me that's saying.
Yeah. The Grand Strand Opera Club. Which
okay, go ahead. All right, I'll stop.
This is fascinating. Of course, I know there's a real resurgence of what's happening in the opera world, and of course, just the opportunity to get you. What brought you down to the Horry County area, John? You're not a Myrtle Beach native, are you?
No, my wife, when she was a little girl, her family always vacationed here in Myrtle Beach. My wife is from North Carolina. She was raised and born in Salisbury. Actually, she was born in Kannapolis, I think.
Is that right?
And she went to school there, and I met her in New York, and then we fell in love. And she told me she liked opera. And she doesn't. She hates it.
Oh, come on.
I swear, that's what she told me.
The small white lies for a relationship.
When I met her, I walked her home and I said, what is your name? She said, my name is Betty Sue. I said, oh, what a pretty name. Are you from New York? She said, no, I'm from North Carolina. I said, oh, okay. You know what? That hotel over there, Westover Hotel, I have one of my friends there. He sings opera. His name is Genio Fernandi. And she said, oh, really? I said, you like opera? He said, yes. I said, would you like to go see Fernandi do Aida? She said, well, sure. She didn't like it.
No.
She didn't like it at all.
But she wanted to get something started with you.
In fact, my first son is named Brian Eugene, after Eugenio Fernandi. Fernandi was a fine tenor. In fact, if you pull up the tenors, if you go to the internet and bring up tenors, Eugenio Fernandi, he had a trumpeted voice. He sang with such force and such power that it gave you thrills. And when I saw him in Aida, let's see, 1958.
You're dating yourself here, John.
No,
that's
okay,
almost 5 decades
but
ago.
People can see.
Yeah,
people can see.
right.
He's an old man. I'm not trying to look young. I'm what I am. I don't color my hair. I'm just natural.
I love it.
So we went to see a Fernandi, and Fernandi just gave me thrills, especially when he said "Fita, fita," tremendous. And then maybe about a month later, I seen Bergonzi sing the same thing, Aida. No match.
Is that right?
Pavarotti overpowered him. Yeah.
Wow, John. Now, of course, just hearing you talk, it's exciting. I'm sure viewers at 7 a.m. It's very exciting.
Well, it's so early in the morning for me.
Wrap up a great week. Donna Tyson was with us yesterday talking about change in her life and change in general. A great motivational speaker. Earlier in the week, Muriel O'Toole was with us. And Harry Turner kicked off the week, who's the president of Beach Music Association International. Another amazing music fan like yourself, who also happened to be a radio talk show host.
Is that right?
Syndicated on 40 radio stations for years. And that's one great thing about you that probably a lot of folks don't know, your tenure as a radio talk show host.
Oh, yeah, I've done radio for 26 years. But the thing is this, that what really got me started in opera, I was a little boy, and I just put on the radio one day, and I just heard this beautiful, fascinating music. I was listening to Puccini's opera, Madame Butterfly. And I said, oh my God, that's fascinating. What beautiful music. And at that time, WOR was broadcasting.
Right, sure.
And I just got fixated on opera. And then when I went to high school, a friend of mine, Fred Hertrick, who went on to become a baritone, a Wagnerian baritone, who sang in Bayreuth in Germany, Wagner's operas. He sang Siegfried and he sang the Duke de Dameron and what have you. But anyway, Frederick and I were sitting together in the assembly, and Fred said, "Oh, look, John, they're looking for someone in the Glee Club. Why don't we go?" I said, "Fred, I don't want to go to Glee Club." He said, "John, come with me, please, please." "Fred, I don't want to go to the Glee Club." He said, "John, you got to do it." I said, "All right, Fred, come on, we'll go." So we went to the Glee Club, and I had a guy by the name of Nazer. He was the musical teacher. He said, "Okay, now you have to sing." I said, "Sing? Okay, sing the Star Spangled Banner." And that's how it judged what voice I was. And I was a tenor. I said, "Oh my gracious, I'm a tenor, yeah." And the very, 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 very first song that the music teacher gave us was the Wagnerian chorus, the Pilgrim chorus from Tannhäuser. That's one.
Sounds more to me, yeah.
And we learned that, and I got more fascinating with it. And then when Fred went on to become, as I said, he went on to have his voice coached by Mario Ricklin in New York, and I went to a few of his sessions there, and Mario was trying to get me to study music and take voice and what have you. And I said, "Well, Mario, I really don't have that much money." And he said, "Well, you don't really need that much money. You just give me $2 for a half hour. We'll go to the scales, and that's all." I said, "I mean, that's a lot of money, $2.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to tell you what year that was.
And we don't want to press that either.
But anyway, Mario gave me a couple of voice lessons and so forth, and then I graduated to someone else. And then I got in with Salmaggi, and Salmaggi was doing operas in Greenwich Village, and then he did a couple in the Brooklyn Academy of Music, and I got interested in that. He showed me the techniques of singing and what have you. And there was a lady that was on 71st Street. Her name was Paula Nikova. Nikova. And she had, George London was one of her students.
Really?
And Nikolai Gedda. And Nikolai Gedda, I always remember, had a very, very small tenor voice until he met with Paula Nikova. And she bloomed his voice into the most fascinating tenor voices today. In fact, Nikolai Gedda does I Puritani, and you have to hit a high D over C. He hits it.
Really?
No tenor can do that. I just heard it on the radio maybe about 3 weeks ago, I Puritani. The tenor, they transposed the notes. The tenor couldn't hit that note.
Really?
And the whole aria at the end of the I Puritani is destroyed because that's a thrilling note, and he sustains it. If you want, I'll bring the record over to you.
Well, you know, the exciting thing, much of this is foreign to me, John. Notes, if someone's not a musician, there's a lot of stuff they'd miss.
Well, we can get you
The important
interested.
thing is finding folks who are not musicians, who don't know anything about opera, and breaking down the basics. What would encourage someone to do what you did these days, turning on the radio for the first time, hearing it? Where can I listen to opera
I'll tell you
now?
something. We have right now the National Opera group that started. Jackie Heron is the executive director. We started.
Oh, good.
So actually you get an appreciation there. We just did Puccini's La Boheme. We did it in two
Really?
parts.
Where'd you all do that?
Well, first we did it over at the Marriott. We had their conference room there, and they had a DVD, and we had Barry Click, who's a member of our club, as well as Rita Martino, who teaches opera.
Good.
And what they did is they gave a synopsis of the opera, the Act One of Puccini's La Boheme, and they had a very fine cast doing it. We had Jose Carreras, and we had, Carreras, we had Scotto, and I forget who else this cast is. You see, it's still early in the morning, I forget.
Right,
But
I know. It's tough to get out of bed.
But anyway, we did that, and then we did part 2 and 3. We're going to be doing, very shortly, another one of Puccini's operas, and we're going to be doing Madame Butterfly. That's the very first opera that I got interested in.
Is that
so?
Right?
I urge the people, if they're really interested and they want to know more about opera,
please,
and they want to get an education in opera, and they want to see if they enjoy opera, because there's a resurgence. Do you know how many operas there are today in this that many people have not heard of?
Oh, my cow!
Tens of thousands.
I bet.
Yeah,
well, even better, if a viewer needs to get off to school or get somebody, a family member off to school or off to work, what's a good number? Is there a good number? Is there a website? Is there a good vehicle to learn more about the Grand Strand Opera Club or the National Opera Club you were talking about? Is there anything, or y'all are obviously in a very beta stage there, you may not have all that together yet?
What we're doing, we have, basically now we have, I think about 70 members.
70?
And we just started maybe about 2 months ago.
Right.
And what we have done, we've had an article,
Myrtle Beach Herald, that's right.
Right there from the Herald.
Thank you.
Tom O'Dare did a fabulous
Tom did a very good piece. I'm surprised more folks haven't picked it up.
Tom didn't know anything about opera.
He does know a lot about music, though.
Well, he didn't know anything about opera.
Right.
He went to see it. He was fascinating.
Really?
And he wrote such a beautiful piece.
He did. I love that picture.
I can tell you something. That paper, your paper, the Herald, that's a great paper.
Thank you.
And it really gets the heart and throbbing of what's happening in the community. More people should buy it. In fact, as the president of the South Central Republican Club, I've urged my members to subscribe to the Herald, because it's a local paper.
Oh, yeah.
As you say in your advertising, you got to support local business.
Sure.
And you got to support the local entrepreneurs.
Keep your money where your home is. That's exactly right.
And I agree with you 100%.
I appreciate that. Well, that's a good plug for the Herald. But we want to plug the Grand Strand Opera Club.
Well, I'm doing that, but you plugged us.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just
I
going to tell
appreciate
you
that.
how we got our publicity out.
I love it.
And sometimes it's so very, very difficult when you're dealing with the daily newspaper, because they rather have mayhem in there, they rather have rape in there, they rather have murder in there.
Yeah, now, John, we still want to cover. Yeah, right.
Am I the guest?
You are the guest.
Okay, I'm saying it's not you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm saying, okay?
That's right.
But here we have something that's positive for the community.
Yeah.
Opera, music. What we want to do also, there's a lot of talent out there.
I'm the guest. Am I the guest? Yes. Hey, you're the guest. I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hear about this after the show.
That's exactly right. It's 7:30. I'm going to get on you. It's Friday. It's the weekend.
It's early in the morning.
I love it. I know.
So
I appreciate
you have to forgive me sometimes.
But of course, the Grand Strand Opera Club, and I know you all are in a germinal stage, and for so many folks that have no familiarity, do you need to know Italian to go and enjoy an opera?
Not only Italian, it's French. You got Massenet, you got Berlioz, you got a lot of good. You got German, you got Strauss.
But listeners, supporters, folks that are thrilled by your amazing voice and so many around you, they don't have to know anything. They just go and enjoy it, right? Like your wife faked it.
You know, it's like everything else. You got to be tuned into something to appreciate it. You say, "Oh, opera, I don't like it." Why don't you like opera? For what reason don't you like it? Well, it's too much screaming. No, opera is not screaming. Opera is projection. It's the voice. You have head tones. Tenors have a lot of head tones, and the tenors are it's a very sweet sounding voice. Now the Russians like a manly voice. They like the basses, like Sheryapin, Hudrovsky, and you can hear it in Eugene Onegin that was just played. They're going, see, they're very, very low. Tenors are a little bit more nasal. So when you hear tenors going,
Right. We're in an office setting. That's right. No, that's very nice.
I didn't know that.
Of course, they're just kicking off today. I understand.
You mean that people here 7 in the morning?
The financial insight starts early. Ask John.
All right, okay, I won't do that anymore. But I thought maybe you'd like to hear
I appreciate that.
the appreciation of voice and how the voice is sounding.
And you can't be in a library and perform an opera. I mean, you've got to be able to get it out. You've got to belt it out. It's coming from the bottom up.
That's the whole thing. It's projection.
Yeah.
Don't remember that in 1730, there was no microphones.
Right.
So consequently, everything had to be chest tones. So therefore, even the countertenors, which sound like sopranos, they had to project their voice, and it's the way you project the voice. It doesn't have. You have to have a loud, strong voice. you can project the voice.
That's great. So you don't have to have a loud, strong
No, I can
voice.
let you project. I can get you to sing.
Yeah, that's right.
You see, I can see the way you're sitting there now. I would ask you to stand up.
Do I need to work on my posture?
And right in here, the chest tones.
Right.
And you're like, oh.
Try. It's too early. That's right. My coffee. I didn't have to finish it this one.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Ooh. Very good. We'll do that another time. But the exciting thing is, John, there's a tenor, as you said, baritone. Is that bass?
You got baritone and bass.
Okay.
And bass. But they're also, you have a bass baritones.
Oh, wow.
And that's the bass baritone was George London. If you listen to a recording of George London or Leonard Warren, terrific voices, very sweet voices, very mellow, and very modulated voices. They have a sweetness to them. The tenors, you know Pavarotti, you've heard of Pavarotti, Domingo and Carreras,
right,
and so forth and so on. And Bocelli. Bocelli can't do opera, by the way.
Is that
Bocelli
right?
does a lot of romantic romanzas, but it's very difficult.
Andre Bocelli, yes.
Yeah, I heard him.
romanza.
I heard him try to do. I think it was in Rigoletto, I think. So, but he didn't.
He's very popular, though. It's been a good help to kick off, as you say, a resurgence in opera.
Well, Greg, it's physical. It takes a lot out of you to do an opera for 3 hours. It trains you, completely trains you, and they have to be in very, very good shape. I mean, you just don't go singing.
Yeah.
There is nerves that are involved, the lights, the blaring lights, the costumes.
A lot of makeup.
You got to remember your songs. You got to list the prompter is there, the music, the conductor. I remember me doing a song with Rena Telly in the Brooklyn Academy of Music. We were doing the tenor soprano aria from La Traviata, di quell'amor che palpita. And we thought we were singing good, and we were carrying on and so forth. And on the stage of the Brooklyn Academy of Music, there are dead spots. So consequently, you can't hear the music.
No.
You can only see the conductor.
Oh, come on. You mean dead spots? I mean you literally couldn't hear what's going on?
No, you couldn't hear the orchestra. There's dead spots there. The stage is big, so it's a dead spot. So we're singing this song, and we thought we're good. And there was maybe about 600 people in the audience and what have you. And the maestro was playing around Ferreira, and I seen Ferreira didn't have a happy face. We were doing great. I thought it was terrific.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Rena and I were doing great. Yeah, after it was over, we got booed. Boo.
No way.
Boo. Shocking. And Ferreira said, you know why they booed you? No. Because you were off pitch.
Oh, wow.
And I was 2 bars ahead of you.
Oh, no.
I said, Rena, were you really? I said, no, I couldn't hear it. Did you? I was following you. And I said, I was following you. So that's what happens. So if you don't really get to see the conductor and the music, and of course we didn't have the luxury of having a prompter there to tell us if we were off or not off, or how far off we were and so forth. We didn't know, but I deserved it. I probably was terrible. And unbeknownst to us, it's just like someone cracking. I remember Kurt Baum. Again, the opera was Aida.
Right.
He was a tenor at the time. Kurt Baum singing Celesti Aida. He cracked at the last B note. He cracked. And it must be a terrible feeling when you crack. You get all that people, thousands of people listening in the audience, and probably it was on OR at that time also, cracking maybe another hundreds of thousands of people. It's really terrible.
Golly, that would be tough.
So
probably pretty intimidating to be up on stage. Are you uncomfortable in crowds, or you do great in crowds?
There's a lot of nerves. You don't know whether or not you're going to hit that note correctly, and you have to prepare for it and so forth. And there's a lot of people, before they go on stage, they vomit. They got so much nerve.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, a lot of artists vomit.
Male and female, both sides, yeah. Right.
And the males they shake like this before they go on. They
really?
shake themselves.
Don't hit that at the camera, that's right.
They're getting themselves ready, so they're shaking up. They're getting prepared. They're doing the facial exercise, all that stuff, and preparing themselves for singing.
Yeah.
So that they do. But I'll tell you something. When you deal with prima donnas like sopranos, they're the worst kind.
Oh, no.
So
there's some prima donnas on the male side as well. Yeah.
Are the worst. Oh, it's too cold. I don't like that chorus singer over there. Why is he frowning?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Please give us a break. Things of that nature. What I found here in Myrtle Beach, we have a great number of people that have migrated here from New
Yes,
York,
yes.
and that have been in the arts and in music and opera.
Yes, yes.
And I'm trying to get them back
That's right.
interested here so that we could get some of these young talents right in our high schools, in our college, like Coastal
Carolina University, of course.
They have vocal kids there.
Yeah.
They give them a break.
And there are a ton of local musicians as well who'd probably be thrilled to learn about opera, John.
Well, I was sitting in your purple room out there. I call it the purple room.
It is very, here at Financial Insights, very
the purple
fancy.
room out there,
Yeah.
talking to some of the people. I was mentioning to them that we have a talent here, and these youngsters have no place to go to show off their talents. And what we want to do at the Grand Strand Opera is to promote them, to give them a chance, as well as to introduce some of the people that are here.
Yes.
A lot of retirees that are here.
Now, yeah, of course, this is a small vehicle to get that out, to get the word out. But do you remember, and I hate to put you on the spot, if there's a good way to learn more about it, if a viewer was to, and I don't think I don't expect a lot of folks to be calling, John. Would you feel comfortable giving a phone number, or is there a phone number that you
Well, I'll
can
give you
give?
the phone number. But actually, we have Rita Martino, who
Right.
teaches opera.
Okay.
And I think she teaches over at Horry Georgetown Tech. But she's also willing to help educate the people that want to know about opera.
Absolutely. And I took away all your notes, so we probably
That's
took
okay.
away the phone number. That's right.
I thought maybe a nice prop
Yeah.
would be nice. But however,
We'll put
being
it
that
up.
you punished me and took it away,
That's right.
let's leave it there. We can always do it another time.
We will put it up on the screen. No, we'll get it up. We'll get it up throughout. We'll just do it at the end of the year.
455-5549. That's Jackie Heron's number.
Okay.
Again, the telephone number 843-455-5549. And for me, if you want to call me,
Sure.
my number, you remember my number, don't you?
839 5. That's a fancy 385.
385-3963. 385-3963.
Well, that's the number we're going to promote during the interview because, of course, I'm sorry we didn't promote it earlier, but the exciting thing is that we got one out and we can surely make it happen. Thanks for giving that to us before we started. You know, there's so many questions, John. I wanted to think about how you were able to tackle so many jobs. We haven't even gotten into any of the many things you've done. Your 3 years as a radio announcer every Saturday night. Share with viewers. We got a couple of minutes.
What happened was when I was in high school, I also worked for Brooklyn Broadcasting Company. I was on Court Street, 66 Court Street, and I was
Is that in Myrtle Beach? Yeah, I'm kidding. You said Brooklyn.
I was born in Brooklyn.
Right, yes.
14th Street by midwife.
I love
in fact, the midwife spelled my name wrong.
No.
Yeah.
J-O-N or J-O-H?
No. She left the E out of Bonsignor.
Well, there is an E in Bonsignor. Yeah.
She left it out.
Oh, right.
And so 3 days later, my aunt says, Hannah, your son's name's spelled wrong.
Oh, no.
She said, what C? Oh, yes. Oh, God.
Leave it alone.
So we had to change it. No, it's changed something like that. So everybody's saying, oh, why did you want to be Italian or French? Why did you put the... I don't want to go through that story. So, and there's a lot of Bonsignores in Brooklyn, in New York. There are loads. In fact, everybody confuses me with them.
Oh, no, yeah.
There's about 15 John Bonsignors in New York City. And they come out here, too.
As you say, a lot of folks...
And my brother's right down the road. He's in Wilmington.
Really?
Yeah, he works in a Hollywood studio with
screen shows. That's fantastic.
He started with De Laurentiis when De Laurentiis first came here.
That's your brother. How many brothers and sisters do you have, John? 4. 4. Any girls in there?
None.
All
My father was very disappointed. He said, "No, another boy." Oh,
yeah, that's right. Normally, guys have gals. It's punishment. Yeah.
No, that's what
God is punishing them. But as the father of a daughter, I'd like to think it's the other way around.
You have a beautiful daughter.
You know it. That's right. Emma Claire is amazing. Yes, John.
Just like you, handsome like you.
And you've got. You talked about one son, Brian. Any other?
I have John and another John, and I have a daughter, Regina.
Is that right? Yeah.
And I have 8 grandchildren.
Wow,
and
John.
One what do you call it, grandchildren, and then
great-grandchildren. That's right. It is early. I'm sorry, John. And speaking of that, I hate to say we have run out of time. 24 minutes have blown right by. Yeah, we haven't talked about your 3-year stint as a radio talk show host in the Philippines. We haven't highlighted
DZMB, ZZRH, and I sang also with the Philharmonic on the Elizalde in the Philippines.
We have missed.
And we had Helen Trumbull singing there as well.
Wow.
She sang. But anyway, I want to thank you very much for all you've done for us at the opera. And
yes.
You're making some great inroads for us, and you're getting the people to appreciate it somewhat.
Yes.
Opera. And if they want to know more, I'm sure you're going to have the on the
Get that phone number up. Absolutely. John.
385-3963. 385-3963.
This is the first time I've reached my hand out. I love it. I love it. Thank you, John.
You're a great guy.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with John Bonsignor coming up next. For 3 years in the Philippines, think about that. Saturday nights from 7 to 11:30. He wasn't John Bonsignor. He was the shuffling Sandman. You're going to have to start calling him that. You know, it's exciting. I always hate running out of time with guests, but there's just so much more to them that you got to take the time to get in touch with him to learn more about him. We didn't get to talk to John about had he ever sung a full-length opera or what even his favorite opera was. We ran out of time. You can learn what those are by giving him a call. It's 385-3963. That's area code 843-385-3963. We also didn't get to talk to John about his service as vice chairman of SCORE, as vice president of Save Our Cats, or as president of the South Strand Republican Club. There's a lot in those big R's there. South Strand Republican Club, John Bonsignor. Take the time to give him a call, but most importantly, if you've got an interest in opera, learn more about the Grand Strand Opera Club with John Bonsignor. Area code 843-385-3963.